I got to see parts of the other side, whether it be called heaven, whether you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. You call it Charlemagne for all I care. I don't care. Whatever you want to name it. Wherever I was at was the most peaceful, most tranquil, most happiest colors that I cannot even bring into perspective for you. I can't give you any visual color that's here on this planet. And I've seen a lot of beautiful, places, but I cannot give you any color that's here that represents there. I can't give you a sound that's here that represents the tranquil sound that I heard there. It was like a sea of voices that were all in complete tune, all at one time, all harmonized to all be just one wave of sound. I know that sounds hard for people to understand. That's what I heard. That's what I could hear. And I saw loved ones that had passed on. I actually had chats with them. Some of them were building on cabins. I didn't understand the logic in that because, you're deceased. Why do you need a cabin? But they were doing that. Some of them looked exactly as they had looked in this life before they passed, and some of them looked years and years and years younger, but yet I still knew them. I myself, in this time period when I was there, I would see myself as a grown man, and I would see myself as a little boy. But each time, I still had the same memories, the same experiences inside of me that made me who I am at that time, but yet just in a different form. And so in one of the times that I had passed away, my grandmother was standing there. My grandmother had passed away. She was the one I was talking about earlier that died 6 months after my car accident.
Now, we're going to have to take a break for 2.5 minutes there. So I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Everybody go get yourself a nice cup of Java. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. Everybody, this is one show tonight you really want to listen to because it makes you really think what happens after life. Do we have life after life? Or like a computer, when it dies, it's dead, nothing more. We'll be back right after a few commercials for the radio stations. Until then, I'll let you guys hear on the internet side a little bit of music.
Sei que vou tirar. Fala tchau pro seu batom na boca e fala oi pra quem te faz pirar. Se você já tá com a mesma sensação, pode vir que eu tô indo não. Tá descontrolada toda essa tara e não para porque a coisa ficou mara. Vou te ganhar no cansaço, no cansaço, no cansaço. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço. Rolar em altos amassos, amassos, amassos. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço. Vou te ganhar no cansaço, no cansaço, no cansaço. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço. Rolar em altos amassos, amassos, amassos. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Well, a shout out to all the truckers out there tonight that are listening, and the ones that will actually be listening a little bit later, the ones that's downloading the program and playing the show when they're out making a long haul. Well, our guest tonight is R.W. Wells, talking about, well, near-death experiences, or in some cases here, it sounds like death experiences where he was brought back. R.W., are you still here with us?
I am.
Now, did you get yourself another cup of Java?
I certainly did.
I did. I know
with no brandy and no whiskey. So my apologies for that part because I am part Irish.
Okay.
But staying coherent for the show.
I just want to say a big shout out to all the truckers out there tonight listening to the show. You know, I am actually getting a couple emails on my other system that they are listening. So anyway, getting back to what happened then.
So I each time that I was being taken for whether it be 3 or 5 minutes or 7 minutes, there was different variations of time. There was never like a synchronized time that I was gone 4 minutes and 42 seconds. You know, it was nothing like that. It was different variations of time. However, when I was gone, it felt like I was gone for months. I mean, it was the time period. There's no night there, you know, but yet it was like a passing of time. I remember so much detail to so many people that I had known in my life as a child and people that I had never known, like a great-grandmother who had passed away long before I was born. Yet she came and spoke to me and told me who she was, where she was buried at, wanted me to go to her burial spot on a specific date because there was a reason for it. And what it turned out later was it was on her birth date, which we found out. My mother didn't even know that. Her birth date was July 1st, and she wanted me at her burial, or July 4th, rather. And we went to her gravestone in Palatka, Florida, on her birthday. And I knew exactly where her gravestone was at. And my mother didn't have no clue. So details that I was given while I was on the other side proved out to be true. Now, my good friend Kaz Rooney, who's also at another show host that I spoke about earlier over in the UK, she believes that I'm gifted, that whether it be through the experiences that I had, because it turned on, you know, something inside of me, which, by the way, I end up talking to dead people, if you want to call them dead people. I don't call them dead because they're very alive to me when they talk. But I can get messages from the other side for telling people something here. And it's not always people that I know. Most of the time, it's happened more times than once. I have to take a secondary job sometimes because, being a writer isn't the glorious job or glorious life that everybody thinks it is. Sometimes you're really robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I've taken different jobs. And while on that job, I'll have a dream one night of some person. And they'll tell me, you don't know me, but I know you know my son or my daughter or my granddaughter. I need you to tell them this for me. I don't know this person. And I didn't know this person they were talking about, but they would show me who they were. And so when I would see them on the job within a day or two, I knew who they were. And I would go up to them. I'd say, is your name such and such? Yeah. How'd you know that? Well, this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I got a vision or I got a dream from your grandfather or your grandmother or your mother or your father, whoever it might be. They told me to tell you this. I mean, within 80 to 90% of the time, it was completely accurate. Every little detail that I would tell them. Told them about, like, their grandfather's front porch, where it was at, how close it was to the road, or a closet where a certain item was stored at. Anything that was something I would have no way of knowing. They were telling me this for me to tell them. The reason they were telling me this wasn't because they were telling me to tell them where the pot of gold was at or the secret bank account. It was nothing like that. It was a confirmation for them to know that there is an afterlife and that life still continues on the other side. that this life here is nothing more than the dress rehearsal for the real thing. This all right here, that's why I really don't. Yes, we have our hardships in this life. And this week, as you know, for me, has been a horrendous week. The passing of my beloved canine daughter, Dakota, on Tuesday. It has really shook my world. Had an operation on Monday, and everything this week has been kind of on the bad side, okay? But this life doesn't hold a peril for the next. In that life, there is none of this, none of these struggles, none of these hardships, none of these worries that we have here. We worry about finances, and we worry about our money. Yes, I understand that, and we got to because we're still here. But in the afterlife, none of that exists. There is no discrimination. There is no racism. There's none of this. No talks of politics. God, I could only imagine what that's be like for,
wall?
For most of us.
No talking about the wall?
Exactly. So it's in that realm, you are free of all these things that hold you and bind you here. And, it's okay for us to be, but in this, the thing that you asked me earlier was, did it give me anything different? Did it change anything about me? It did. Especially the last few times. I've always been a caring person for the homeless. It's always been, like if I saw a homeless person, I would give to them. And I never felt ashamed for doing it. I never, shied away from it or anything like that. Some people run from homeless people, like they, I don't know, like they're a used car salesman or something. But when I died the last couple times, something was instilled inside of me that my mission here, no matter what it is, it's about my writing. Through my writing, I would be able to do this. My writing is my career. That is what I was born to do. But my mission for this life is to help the homeless, and especially the American vets that are homeless, because there are so many of them. I mean, the United States, we don't have to look beyond our borders to help other countries. I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with that, but we don't have to look outside of the United States for homeless people or for needy people who need our help. We've got them here. And we just need to be conscious of that enough to reach out and help them in any form or fashion. If it means donating your clothes, the clothes that you're going to throw away, or you're going to give the Salvation Army or Goodwill or whatever, give these to these people. I've done it hundreds of times over the years. I've actually had homeless people lining up as I was passing out sweaters, blankets, pants, anything. I gather them from neighbors. I'd go to neighbors' houses and go, look, do you have any old clothes that you're going to get rid of? I've got people who are coming by my house to pick them up. And and just today, as a matter of fact, a homeless guy I hadn't seen in about a year, he says, I haven't seen you in a while. Do you happen to have any shorts and shirts that you're going to toss out? I said, I certainly do. And I always keep a bag of those things just in case one of them comes by. So I know what my mission is, and I have a fervent desire to help them in any way, for whatever possible way I can do it. And if it means being an outspoken person, I recently, and I will say it, Walgreens here in Sefner, there was a particular clerk who was denying service to a homeless vet who I had just given enough money for him to go inside. He just wanted an orange juice. And he was dirty, and he reeked. I'm not going to lie. But she refused service to him because this very snotty lady, who was very snobbed, said, ooh, he stinks. He shouldn't be in here. So the clerk is asking him to leave. I got up in her face. I said, oh, no. He's with me. I'll buy it for him. Another time I was at Burger King, and I'm saying these names out because I want people to understand about these places. They denied service to this young man who is a vet who was homeless just because he was homeless. And he asked them if there was anything they were going to throw away, because I've seen it done hundreds of times. Burger King, McDonald's, all of them throw out food that could be fed